Western Europe, the 10th century. For over a century, the coastal kingdom of Branders has been ravaged by bands of Viking raiders. But now, an even greater threat looms on the horizon. In the Norse petty kingdom of Bersingsland, two Viking chieftains, the brothers Hrolfr and Hrafn Sigurdsson, seek to carve out new lands of their own. They come not only to raid, but to conquer. King Robert II of Branders does his best to resist the pagan invaders. They are proving to be too much for his army. He travels to seek the aid of King Philip of Alsaine, the inland neighbor of Branders.
My liege, the King of Branders requests an audience with you. Very well, let him in. By the grace of God, His Majesty King Robert II of Branders, and His Royal Highness Prince Francis. Well, Robert, what brings you here? Have you come to plead for my aid? The situation is most desperate, Brother King. This is no ordinary Viking raid. These heathens have assembled the largest army we have ever seen, and rather than burning the towns and castles they have conquered, they have fortified them as their own. This is an invasion, and they will stop at nothing until the whole land is conquered. Branders does not have enough men to hold out against them. And why is this my problem? Why should I intervene? Because you married my sister? Because our fathers fought together? Alsaine has its own issues. We have no obligations to Branders. Branders has served as a bulwark against the Norsemen for a century. Alsaine has prospered because it has not had to endure these raids. If we fall, the heathens will be at your doorstep. And as a Christian king, it is your duty to protect the flock against the infidel. Do not tell me of my duties as king. I have reigned as king far longer than you have. How do I know that this is not a ploy to draw my army out, so that you might conquer my land? As I have said, Alsaine has no obligation to Branders. You will have to fight on your own. I had hoped you were a man of honor, Philip, but I see that is not the case. Very well. I will waste no more time here. What are we to do now, Father? I don't know, son. We sent emissaries to the Pope and to the Roman Emperor, but I do not know that they will be able to assist us in time. We must fight alone, and pray that— Your Majesty, wait! Prince Anselm? I thought your father said he would not offer any assistance. He will not, I am afraid. Ever since Mother's death, his heart has grown hard and cold. But as Duke of Metz, I will use my own resources to offer aid. He was not happy about it, but I have made my decision. Father, I cannot let Branders fall to these savages. I will muster my forces to assist King Robert. I already told him we will offer no assistance. You cannot go. You might not assist them, and the Kingdom of Alsaine may not assist him, but the Duchy of Metz will. Boy, I am your father and your king. You will not waste our resources in this pointless fight. I have met my obligations to you as your feudal vassal, but the laws of the kingdom dictate that I may do with my own fiefdom as I see fit, and I am going to help Branders. You will regret this! Even with your forces, you cannot win! Branders will be overrun. Then they will not die alone. I am truly grateful for your help, Prince Anselm. You are a true example of a chivalrous Christian knight. There they are, the great heathen army. Hold steady, men. These Northmen may be intimidating, but remember what you are fighting for. These savages hate all that is good in the eyes of the Lord. Peace, kindness, knowledge, temperance, these mean nothing to them. They care only for power, for domination, for wealth, and for destruction. Many of you are defending your own homes and families, while some of you have graciously joined us to protect and fight for the weak. But all of you fight with God. The forces of sin, death, and the devil cannot stand against us. So fight! Fight for your homes, fight for your kingdom, fight for your faith, and fight for victory! Steel yourselves, the enemy advances.
You have done well, men. You have made the journey here. You have conquered the coast of this kingdom. And now we stand at the heartlands. Our forefathers have carried out glorious raids. But we stand at the precipice of surpassing them. All will fear the power of the Nords. Live or die, your names will be remembered in the sagas for generations. Now fight, sons of Odin. Fight with the power of Thor. Fight for honor. Fight for glory, and fight for victory!
Zone. There's too many of them. We must fall back to the castle. Fall back, men!
Are you sure it was a wise decision to retreat, Father? We were losing too many men too fast, without being able to make enough of a dent in their numbers. As it stands, we have barely enough men to resist the siege. We failed. I failed. I can do nothing while these heathens pillage my countryside.
You did your best, Robert. I'm afraid you were doomed from the start. Like you told Philip, Brander's didn't have enough troops to resist, and unfortunately, Anselm's troops were not enough to make a difference. If it wasn't for his sacrifice, I fear you would both be dead by now, and this castle would be overrun, and I would have been taken as a prize by those savages.
Our best just wasn't good enough. I'm sorry, love. I fear it won't be much longer before that anyways. Robert! You treacherous snake! Because of you, my only son, my heir, is dead! My dynasty is ruined! The one responsible for this will meet justice! Luckily for you, my hatred for you is only exceeded by my hatred of the heathen who delivered the death blow. Come out and fight, Robert! This is the only chance I will give you. Well, it appears King Philip has been moved to fight. This may be our only chance at salvation. My lady, know that whatever happens, my love for you reigns eternal.
Please return safely, my son. The future of our kingdom depends on it.
I will do all that I can, Mother. You!
heathen!
What are you waiting for? Kill him!
No. Take him prisoner.
What? He must pay!
The one who killed your son is dead. You have had your revenge. An eye for an eye, and the blood that has been repaid. But Vikings are fleeing, and may wreak more havoc on this land. More may return. But with his assistance, perhaps we can put an end to this. Perhaps you're right.
Robert! I'm here, my love. It's okay. God has delivered us. He has granted victory to our son. He will make a great king. I'm sorry I couldn't save you, Father.
Nonsense. It is an honor to die for my kingdom and my people. And for you.
Philip? Yes, Robert?
I'm sorry about your son, but thank you for saving our kingdom. All is forgiven. When you see him, tell him I love him. I never got to tell him while he was alive.
I will. Now, my wife, my son, know that I love you, always and forever.
Requiem aeterno, dona ei Domine, et lux perpetua lucea Dei, requiescat in pace. Amen.
Ego te baptizo in nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti.
You've done well, nephew. Now that these Norsemen have accepted Christ, the rate should decrease, and our churches and monasteries will no longer burn. You are wise beyond your years, and as great a diplomat as you are a warrior. Dear sister, I am so sorry for everything. I was too proud to send my army when it mattered, and your dear husband perished for it. May God have mercy on me. But I have paid the price for my sin as well. My only son, my heir, is dead. Our most noble dynasty will die with me, but the blood of our family will survive, through you. When I die, your son will take up a second crown, and there is no one else alive who is more qualified to do so. Thank you for the kind words, uncle. I am honored, and I promise you, when that time comes, I will rule Alsaine with a just hand and with its best interests at heart. And so it was. King Francis I would rule over the kingdom of Branders for 5 years, until King Philip's death, whence upon he would rule the united kingdom of Branders and Alsaine. Considered a fair and just king, he was much beloved by the people. Breffni One Hand, as he came to be known, would return to Bersing's land, where he would reign as their sole king and work to spread Christianity among his people with the assistance from Bremish clergymen. A pagan rebellion would dethrone him, but he had planted the seeds of faith in his son, Eric Hraefnison the Confessor, who would regain the throne and see the full and permanent Christianization of the land. Bersingslander raiders would not threaten Branders Alsaine again, and the two mutually benefited from trading with each other. The two kingdoms would not find themselves involved in another major conflict together
until nearly 200 years later in the Crusades. But that is a story